You're not broke, you're just disconnected. Most people chase money, the smart ones build a network that brings it to them. Making money? Well, that's where empires are made. Welcome to Network Network. And today, I have my boy Bentley, man. What he's gonna do is he's gonna show you exactly how to build wealth from the ground up.
Hey, how you doing, guys? So yeah, I'll even add to Elias's introduction to the Network podcast. It's a pleasure to be here, by the way. And you're not broke, you're just disconnected, and you're also not broke, you're just misinformed. You see, a lot of people, Elias, they have no idea about how to build wealth because simply for the fact nobody ever taught them.
Gotcha.
Your network is everything. Because your network, birds of a feather flock together.
Usually what I like to do is just kind of like let people know, like, what exactly do you do, man?
So I teach people how to take the money that they're already making and maximize and turn it into a wealth vehicle. Something that's going to help to bring them financial freedom. All right, you gotta start small. Most people, they're not starting off with $1 million in their account. They're starting off with an extra 100 or an extra 200 here and there. I show people how to start off with what they already have by using plans and strategies that usually wealthy people have that ordinary people don't know about or have access to.
I got you, man. Mm-hmm. Me and Bentley we became good friends at a finance job, which is insane, right? Because nobody, like you said, nobody teaches us finance. Mm-hmm. And just kind of seeing the fact that, we both worked together for a very small portion of time, and we both broke off and did our very own thing. But it kind of geared towards back into like financial stability, man. Mm-hmm. And you took it to another level where you got into life insurance, bro. Like, how did that work out, man?
Yeah, you actually had brought me to the ER at that time last year. It was definitely a pivotal moment, to say the least. As soon as I did my last surgery, I still have the scar right here. Through a friend of a friend, I was introduced to the industry of insurance, like life insurance. Yeah. It wasn't the ordinary kind of life insurance where, your beneficiaries get some money when you pass, but it was the kind that wealthy people use to build wealth. And at first, like most people, I'm like, huh? I didn't know about that. But then when I did, it changed my world, man. I went through a rabbit hole.
I bet. And a little bit on that too, man. Like, I do see, from afar, right, it really changed your life. You seem like you're more financially successful, wealthy in a way, and you tell me a little bit about that experience. Like, how did you get into finance? Like, what geared you to get to that point where you're at now, man?
So I got into finance. All right, I mentioned finance because I got into finance before I got into life insurance specifically. And I got into finance simply just by learning how to not be broke. In order to change, and I last saw this in a Mel Robbins book, right? People change when the pain of staying where they are is more painful than the changing process.
Yeah.
Right? You have to get tired of being stuck where you're at. And I was tired of the cycle of being broke.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm the kind of person that likes to figure things out. And I knew that the knowledge to get out of my situation was around somewhere.
Yeah.
So I picked up a book. And mind you, at the time I had just a little bit of money. I took a last bit of money I had to go into.
So you don't necessarily, sorry to cut you off, but you don't necessarily need a lot of money.
After you get the information, you need the right opportunity. See, some people get in the right opportunities that are like, I don't know, $100 opportunity. And then you got the opportunities that can, compound into a lot of money over time. And then worst of all, you got the wrong opportunities where you get yourself into some kind of scam shit.
Oh, man.
That's the worst one.
I mean, we've all been scammed.
We've all been scammed.
We've all been scammed.
I've been scammed.
Yeah, thousands of dollars.
Right. So, and then after that, when you get in the right opportunity, then time is your best friend.
Gotcha.
But there's a little thing called compound. Compound interest, compound rate of return.
It could be good or bad too, double-edged sword.
It could be a double-edged sword. You don't want to compound interest on your credit.
No. I know that ties into like what you're doing now, right? Like I know you're doing like life insurance. Like tell me a little bit about that. Like how did you, encounter, get yourself into that stuff?
Well, the reason why, so you already know, like when one door was closed, when it was open, the reason I chose to walk through that door and why I stayed is though it was the kind of information that would blow your mind. And you're just wondering to yourself, how is this legal?
No way. Yeah.
When you have to ask, how is this legal? You know it's good.
That is true. So you found a loophole. You found a loophole.
Somebody many years ago found a loophole that some people are still figuring out exists today.
I got you. Mm-hmm. And how does that kind of work out?
Well, don't want to get super technical about it.
Okay.
But on one end, all life insurance products, they have a death benefit, right?
Yes,
so money that's paid out to one's beneficiaries when that person dies. But what you also have in some products is a savings aspect of the account.
Okay.
So when you put money into the account, some of that money goes towards buying that death benefit that goes to your family. And some of that money also goes to the savings part of your plan.
Okay.
Here's the thing, the insurance company has to make money on their money in order to, become profitable as a business and all that. They give you back some of those profits. So your money is growing at a certain rate of return over time. Some accounts do 5-6%, and there are some accounts that can go up to 12% in rate of return on your money.
No way.
Now here's a good thing. If you think about stocks and real estate, the government has this whole capital gains.
That's what I'm saying.
If you earn any money from profit from your asset increasing in value over time, you gotta pay taxes.
Yeah, you have to pay taxes. Uncle Sam comes out every time.
Exactly.
Every time.
The difference is though, when you go to the insurance company and want some of your money, right? The money doesn't come from the savings aspect that was accumulating in value over time.
Okay.
It comes from the death benefit. And the death benefit is not taxed.
So that's very technical, man. That goes over a lot of people's head. Mm-hmm. But kind of getting into the technicalities, I don't know. How will this benefit your average Joe then? Like, do you necessarily need to have a lot of money up front to start doing this? Do you have to pay thousands of dollars a month for this life insurance plan? Mm-hmm. Like, I know you do life insurance, right? And, we kind of want to get into the nitty and gritty of how does that structure?
Right, so let's talk about how does this even benefit the average Joe? I love that question. Because that's why I started doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? It's to help ordinary people with ordinary incomes maximize what they have and turn it into a real vehicle of wealth. Life insurance plans, especially the ones that we design it around your budget.
Correct.
The budget of the ordinary man.
Okay.
And with the tools that we have, that money grows over time. I have clients that that's what I can think of with $300 a month.
Yeah.
He could have access to $10,000 or more in the next 5-6 years on his money.
No, right? Way.
Money that he can take out as a loan against his money to go put into property. And the benefit here is, right, apart from the growth on the money, is he can take that money and go invest into real estate and all that, and then have the cash flow from the property put back into his plan where it's going to grow even more. And that's a strategy called infinite banking. So instead of borrowing money from the bank and dealing with the credit checks and all this, drama, you can just, your own bank.
So you can, wait, so what you're trying to tell me right here, right? What you're telling me is you can borrow from your life insurance policy and use that for investments like real estate, flipping land. Mm-hmm. Now, where is that you draw the line? Because, some people might think, hey, look, I'm going to borrow back and I'm going to buy myself a Porsche.
I didn't get into life insurance to sell life insurance. I got into life insurance because I saw it as a great vehicle of building wealth. If you get into the right opportunity, like this, life insurance, and then your mentality is, I'm going to take the money that I compounded to go buy a Porsche, which is a liability, which is not going to be a one-time payment, mind you. It's going to be a car note,
yes,
insurance, and maintenance. You are just putting there right back to
no, and interest. We were just talking about that earlier.
Exactly.
The right interest is the main key factor into this too. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to get into liability. I mean. So you're saying definitely you can borrow back, buy yourself a Porsche, which is not a wise thing to do.
Right.
But you can also borrow back, get into more investments, leading to more growth. Now, do you have to pay the money back?
No, you don't have to pay the money back.
No way.
You're on back. It's your money, right? So how the insurance company sees it is, well, whatever money that we give to you as a loan, when you die, we'll just take it from the death benefit, the money that we were supposed to give your beneficiaries.
Okay.
So the money's already guaranteed.
Say, for example, they owe you $500,000, right? And you take out $100,000. The day of tomorrow, hopefully nothing happens, but the day of tomorrow, you pass away. That would mean they'll only pay you out $400,000. Is that correct, or?
Yes, but I also do want to clarify the time, because you said the day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Right. So you can only borrow as much money as you accumulated.
Okay.
So just because you were quoted at, let's say you got a death benefit of 500,000, doesn't mean that you have access to 500,000. That's where some people kind of get it twisted.
Okay.
If let's say you have a death benefit of 500,000, and so far you accumulated $100,000 in your account.
Okay.
Right? Some of that obviously being profit.
Okay.
You have access up to $100,000 of your own money.
Okay.
Now, what makes it tax-free and gives it the advantages that it has is that when you come to take money out, the money comes from the death benefit. Because it comes from the death benefit, that's why it can't be taxed. And if it's a loan, but even if he doesn't pay us back, that's fine too. We would just take it from the money that we were supposed to give his family.
It makes total sense, man.
Is why it's tax-free?
Now we see why we got you on here, man. you're dropping a lot of gems, because these are questions that our viewers are going to ask. Can I get this money and buy a Porsche?
Yeah.
Can I get this money and buy a house? How does it really work? You know what I mean? So definitely, it can work out for anybody, honestly speaking.
Yeah.
It can work out for a millionaire, because that's pretty much what I'm hearing is they already use this. What you're doing here is just giving it to the equal opportunity for anybody else to get into this, right? Because people do have the whole limited mindset where they're like, let me get 3 jobs, right? 2 jobs, 3 jobs. And people tend to think that way they grow more wealth, they store their money in the bank, and it's continuously making more money. Well, stacking up at that point, right?
Yeah.
But what they don't know is just, that it's not. It's really not. It's really not. It's really not going to grow.
Nobody has ever become wealthy from working a job.
Really? That's the real thing.
Statistically, and yes, I'm also referring to top CEOs.
That is true.
If you are paid a salary, you cannot become wealthy. Because here's the thing. That is not... Warren Buffett has a really amazing quote that I share with my clients in every single presentation before we kick things off. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die. Warren Buffett said that, not me. All right? And it's true. You can have a very high income skill. And I see this with barbershop owners. I see this with salespeople. I come from a sales background, knocking door to door. And I know a lot of people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars in just 4 months.
It's true.
Of knocking on doors.
Yeah.
But what you do with that money is everything after.
Yeah, and that
is wealth.
That's exactly what we want to also clarify here, that a lot of people tend to think that wealth is having $1 million in the bank. Literally $1 million in today's market is really nothing, honestly. But, at today's day and age, you have to have asset producing, just income being generated from your assets. Because if you're not, the day of tomorrow something happens, God forbid, and you're working a regular 9 to 5, and at that point,
unless you want to keep working until you're 70.
That is true. And then just receive that $1,000 check on a month that the government's going to give you, which people do that. No shame on that. But if you really want to live comfortably, build wealth, you know, make some money on the side, right? And use that money, right, to build more wealth and then kind of have some sort of tax benefit on them.
To buy more assets to build more wealth. And, you know, it's very important, you know, have this conversation because a lot of people, you know, they don't necessarily want to be wealthy in the sense of the ability to buy a lot of nice things. Most people want to live, you know, ordinary lives. Just good lives, spending time with their family and, you know, being comfortable. Well, everyone has to think about retirement.
Definitely.
I speak with a lot of people, and I've met people, unfortunately, in their 50s or in their early 60s about to retire, and they have absolutely nothing.
That's another question too, gearing towards like what I really wanted to ask you too. Like, we were just speaking about real estate, right? We were just talking about real estate, but why would somebody get into insurance? Not like yourself, you know, because we already know that you're doing very well in insurance and the industry is very great. It's treating you right. But meaning like, why would somebody get life insurance or insurance in general? Like, why do that instead of doing, you know, real estate or buying a bar or getting a restaurant? And why life insurance is what I'm saying.
I love that question. You know who asks me that question a lot, albeit sometimes in a hostile way, is people that do stocks. And they're always like, oh, the fees and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
I'm like, bro, this is why knowledge and mindset is super important in finance. I am a finance person before I am an insurance broker or whatever, which is why the official title I have is financial strategist. My point is, it's not one thing or the other. One of the rules of finance is diversify.
That is true.
Diversify. So for the people that do stocks, right? And I'm in stocks because why wouldn't I be? When you're in stocks, as an example, there's a lot of exposure to the market, up and down and up.
So you mean like the influx of things?
Right, the influx.
So wait, so let me stop you right there. Is there a lot of influx in generating wealth with life insurance?
No.
So it's always a steady climb.
There is only up.
It's only up. So what's the downside, man? What's the catch to this? Like,
there isn't. The insurance company guarantees your money never dips below 0.25%. We call it the floor of protection, right?
wow.
But, you know, and for some people in stocks, right, for them, it's like a big deal. Because for that floor of protection, the insurance company also caps you at like say 12%, or I've heard some companies have 15% rate of return.
So there's short-term success in this, and there's long-term success, and God forbid, right? So the mindset to get into life insurance is not, I want to buy something that's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it right out the cuff. Obviously, that's, costing me some clients, but, I don't care. I'm in the wealth building game. If it's your money to do whatever you want with, but I'm going to say right at the cuff, these plans, right? The strategy here that we're talking about is called infinite banking. It can't be infinite banking if the money that you're borrowing from your own policy is going towards a liability that's just going to be draining money.
Makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? Ideally, you want whatever asset you buy to generate income that you can then feed back into the policy.
And does that make the policy grow more?
It's going to grow more.
So never ending money. This is a life hack.
It's never ending money.
It's never.
That's what I'm gonna run this number by you.
That's what I was gonna say. The fact that it's still growing even after the fact that you borrowed money against it.
Mm-hmm. You didn't withdraw it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's literally unlimited. It's a life hack at this point. And now I see why. That's the reason why.
It's tax free too.
That's free too.
You don't pay money, you don't pay taxes on loans.
No, and it's insane because it makes sense now why these rich millionaires do this. And look, Bentley, honestly speaking, man, you really dropped a lot of gems on us, man. You gave us a lot of information that people didn't even know. Your average person doesn't know of half the things you just spoke about.
Mhm.
You know, everything when it comes to tax benefits, the tax codes. He went very technical on the tax codes. You went to, capital gains, how you can borrow back. Brother, honestly speaking, it does seem like you're a very great expert in what you do in this field because you go above and beyond besides just average insurance, man. That's what people don't understand. You're doing insurance and infinite banking, right? In which where like it's infinite potential at that point. You know what I mean? I mean, you tell me like where should I take it from here? Like if they want to learn more, how do they contact you? You know?
Well, I would say hold your horses, all right? Because, I speak with, hundreds of people, Elias. Honestly, probably at this point in, my entire career of speaking with people and helping them solve problems, probably thousands of people at this point. There's something called The Valley of Despair, and, it's a book you gotta read. It's called the 12-week year. A lot of people, Elias, say, hey, Bentley, I want to change. Or, hey, that sounds like a really amazing thing. Let me get in on that.
Yeah.
Or, oh, Bentley, I want to start a business. Or, oh, Bentley, I want to, do whatever it is that they're trying to do. But then when the real decision comes, when you got to choose the discipline, when you got to actually do it and you see what it demands of you, what the cost is, then they're like,
well, let me think about it.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
It's true, and you're not lying. So you want them to learn a little bit more.
Exactly.
You want them to educate themselves a little more.
Yeah.
Definitely speaking to you will be kind of that roadmap to see what they want to achieve, because they honestly don't even know what they want.
Yeah.
So everybody has a reason why they want life.
Yeah. People are excited about the prospect of building wealth.
Okay.
And obviously setting up their family for generational wealth, because, at the end of the day, these plans are going to pay out a huge lump sum death benefit to their families too, right? And we didn't even touch into all that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that sounds exciting. But you still don't have all the information.
Okay.
You don't. And at the end of the day, this is a lifelong commitment. This is something that you'll be paying into for a while. All right?
That makes sense.
So, for some people, I don't know what your individual budget looks like, but for some people, that might be sacrificing going out every Saturday night, or I'm going to have to cancel a few subscriptions, right? You're not yet ready to make the sacrifices necessary to secure your future or get you closer to your goal that you're trying to achieve. You're just not ready. So you think you are because this information excites you, but you're not ready. So what I would encourage, and it's fine that you're not ready. What you need is more information. And then you obviously want to stew on that information a little bit and really internalize it. And then when you're actually ready to make the decision and the commitment, then you want to reach out and talk to me.
Shout yourself out, man.
Yeah, right. You can find me on YouTube, Wealth with Bent, or on Instagram, just_Bentley_. And one of the videos I did very recently is, before you get into real estate, learn real estate. Before you get into stocks, learn stocks. Before you get into, loans and all that, before you get into bread routes, learn bread routes. Whatever the e-commerce, learn e-commerce. Everything sounds exciting until you have to deal with the hard work to do it. These are all great vehicles of building wealth. Life insurance is a great vehicle to build wealth. Take your time and learn first.
Definitely.
Because that is what's really going to make the difference. So, no, I don't want anybody coming or booking on my calendar until they have learned and really decided in themselves that I want to change my life. I want to start making the moves for my success, right? So I want to pass on the information. And that's why we do a workshop. right? That's why we have a workshop that I do it every week. It's Monday at 6:30 p.m., Wednesday at 12 p.m., and Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And in this workshop, we do some education on wealth building, right? Sometimes it's insurance, sometimes it's about other things, where we talk about taxes, the impact of taxes on your money, or the influx of the market, different kinds of accounts that expose you into different things. We talk about wealth building, budgeting, all these things, how compound interest works, right? So you can come and learn, not signing up for anything, right? You can just come and learn, get your feet wet, and then, little by little, until you're ready, put your ducks in a row, then you can say, hey, Bentley, what's the next step? I've learned everything. I want to do this. This is what I want. Step by step.
Yeah, step by step, and learning more, coming to your workshop, it goes into a little bit more in depth about what we already spoke about, right?
Right.
More education, more knowledge, more wealth at the end of the day. So definitely tune in. I mean, why not? Right? It's free information. It's free.
Free information.
Heck yeah, man. And I mean, with that pretty much, if you definitely want to learn a little bit more, reach out to Bentley, reach out to me. We're really good friends. We have, we're always speaking on the internet. It's not just that we're on a, phone call basis. He picks up the phone every time I call. I pick up the phone every time he calls. Definitely look into more of what he's got, what he has going on with the life insurance. Definitely look into his free workshop. I mean, why not? It's free information, and you can take it from there, learn more, and possibly even just get into life insurance. Why not?
Yeah. Always looking for more, good people, hardworking people to come on the team, and trying to expand and really trying to build something great, Elias. Something that can really. There's something I mentioned in all of my presentations. There's a dramatic need, like we kind of discussed earlier, for the services that we offer. Like rich people already have this information. They already do. The people that don't are the people that need it the most. Right? And so I'm looking for people that want to help other people to learn this information and provide these services so that we can all grow together.
Yeah, nobody has that around, man. It's like the country club from the ground up. Alrighty, man. It was a pleasure having you, brother.
Sir.